Monday Night Football going. If I get to coach a football team one day in the NFL, they're going to be a ground and pound team with a $250 million quarterback, and we're just going to hand the ball off a bunch.
Jenna, I just want, because we're going to put this soundbite in. This was Sean McDermott. I asked him a question. I could see a little smile in the corner of his mouth.
Oh, he was so happy.
I asked him about playing the way they played today. Well, here's Sean.
Definitely. You need to be able to do this. You need to be able to play that way down the stretch because of weather, or they're taking away your fastball, and I just believe in that. I think just philosophically, holistically, you've got to be able to show that you can do that, be a two-dimensional offense, or in this case, a one-dimensional offense via the run. And it just helps the whole football team, right? It keeps their explosive offense on the sideline with their explosive players, and it's just a mindset too, and you've got to be able to do that.
All right, Dan, were you gritting your teeth on the sidelines?
He knows they're a running team.
A little bit. It was kind of like you like chalk.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I know I told you because I was on TV when I said it. And I rewinded and I DVR'd it just to make sure I told you. I picked the Buffalo Bills to win this game. It was a tough one. It was a tough one. I understand. Y'all fell for the okie doke, didn't you? Didn't you? You sat up there and listened to old Stevie A tell you. Dak Prescott, MVP candidate. You fell for it, didn't you? You fell for it, okay? You sat up there. I ain't tell you about that running game of Buffalo. I ain't tell you about the inclement weather. I ain't tell you about Western New York and how the Dallas Cowboys ain't fit to deal with such adverse conditions. I ain't getting into none of that. I'll let you sit up there and believe that those Dallas Cowboys are going to be special. They were going to be special. They were going to rise to the occasion, even though I told you they were going to lose. And they got stomped. What did I tell you? I'm going to leave you alone from now. But it's just a reminder of what the big bullies the Dallas Cowboys are. When you're going up against inferior competition, you show up and you show out. And you'll win a tough game here and there. But every now and then there's elements and increments that'll drop to show you who you are and what you're going to be when it really, really counts. How about them Cowboys? See you tomorrow on First Take. You hear?
Oh boy.
John Cena just cleared off the Spanish announce table, and now he's stalking Big Show. John Cena. He said he was going to Big Show up on his shoulders. Are you kidding me? Look at Cena.
Wow. Wow. Hilarious.
Chocolate ice cream, and all they had was vanilla, and you're like, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, oh.
Wow. Wow.
Like this vanilla ice cream can also be good. Like it's good vanilla ice cream. It was to see them. You saw the quit in the Cowboys.
Yeah,
you saw it. That was the most
Called it.
fascinating thing to
I
me.
actually called
This
it.
was a team that was very confident, won
I
5
said they were going to
games,
come
offense,
here
defense gets
and not
better,
want to play in these conditions, even though the conditions were not bad.
I love, I've been against running the football, right? And I've always said that like it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's like what Tom Brady did. But I've heard like Chris Long and other guys talk about when you're a defense and you're getting picked apart through the air, you almost go to the sidelines. They say, hey, if we clog this lane, like we'll get them back. Like we'll go. When it's this type of body blow and just running the ball down their throat and there's nothing you do, it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
The fact that you could pretty much say, we're running it here. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
That was the type of game the Bills played. I have never seen the Bills do that in my 7 years of covering this team. But this was the type of game, like Sean McDermott said, like you guys have mentioned, they need to do in this kind of elements.
I think it was really cool to see James Cook and that process. And we talked about it in the pregame podcast of the maturation process of him. And obviously today, a career afternoon for him. I think what we saw was just the vision, the patience. He had a couple really nice catches, dropped a touchdown, but had the 2 other touchdowns. I think when you see him kind of come together, James Cook is a star.
He's a star. This was Thurman Thomas stuff.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, now look, Thurman did it over and over and over again. He has a gold jacket, okay? I'm talking about the way he played. LaShawn McCoy would do that, the great hot moves and get around. He's a phenomenal runner. And he could catch the ball. He's just a great athlete. But this is in a big game against the Dallas Cowboys, like in this time. That's why it reminded me more of Thurman than anybody. Again, it's a game. But James Cook has been building on this. But today, when I watched him, I've never seen that. We've seen little flashes.
Yeah.
He did it all day, right from the beginning.
What did Micah Hyde say?
Confidence is a hell of a drug.
And I know he says he's always been confident. There's being confident and believing that you can do it, and then there's going out and doing it. And that's a whole nother level. You can always say, I've always believed in myself.
Well, what's up, my guy? I got on super late. It might be a short stream, but I'm here.
The team can, he's that good that the team can rely on him to win games.
Yeah.
I think, and when you'd ask Sean McDermott about playing that type of style, I think what Sean McDermott talked about too was having the duality of being able to both pass the ball and also being able to run it, which I know you don't love the idea of that
Vanilla
balance.
ice cream wasn't bad.
But I think in this moment, you put that on tape.
Yep.
Teams are going to have to prepare for that because the threat of that. And that, even just having that, sets the example of, okay, we have to take this seriously.
Look, when you're the Chargers or the Patriots or the Dolphins at the end of the year, you're looking at James Cook, like, at the top here. Like, as Josh is, at the moment, in this part of the year, he's their number one weapon. He's right now.
Wait, Josh Allen is.
Well, Josh Allen. I'm talking about for Josh Allen to use.
Yes. Okay.
James Cook is their number one weapon. Right now ahead of Stephon Diggs, though he did make
that
an incredible catch.
Insane.
Absurd throw, absurd catch.
And then I saw a tweet, Jenna Cottrell. You know, Steph maybe is online trying to get his brother to come to Buffalo. Why not, right? If he wants to play for the team that beat the Cowboys 31-10. But no, I think James Cook is becoming that guy. And it's one thing to say, well, it's Diggs and Kincaid and all. No. When you can get this out of the backfield
100%.
and know you can rely on it. Now, look, they're not going to run the ball this much all the time. They had the lead, and it helped that the defense was so good today.
Yes.
That they were able to maintain it. But, man, it's just another gear that they haven't always had.
If you were to tell me that the Bills won with Josh Allen having 94 passing yards, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis all not having catches, I'd be like, okay. But
Oh, you made pasta again?
And how well they played.
You made pasta again, my guy. Huh? Must be good. Good. Sounds good.
I knew you would be that.
I'm going to also say Josh Allen has been that guy before.
We have criticized this. We were driving up here saying, you know, this roster, for everybody that talks about it, Super Bowl caliber roster, like, we have, all three of us on this channel have been like there's some things I think that Brandon Beane has struggled with. The one thing Brandon Beane has nailed this offseason was this offensive line.
Yes, they're much better.
He nailed this offensive line.
Yeah, his offensive line is
we were
probably the best it's been.
cynical, critical, joked around about, you know, Spencer Brown. Oh boy, his back really was bothering him last year. He looks great.
Yeah.
This offensive line, Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse, Connor McGovern, and Cyrus O'Torrance, like, they look phenomenal, and they were the catalyst of just body blows. Oh, Cyrus Torrance.
As soon as you said it, I was like, wait, I don't. Remix.
He's Irish. I just made Cyrus Irish.
That's a cool name, though. Cyrus O'Torrance is here.
Literally in my head, I was like, wait.
But you know what? I love
said
James' confidence. He just kept
confidence is a hell of a
He
drug.
was James Cook running through the
don't
line.
stop.
Like,
Just
I'm
don't
not
stop.
Just keep going. I don't even. Your point was good.
It was.
This is the one position group I think
Yes.
Bean has absolutely hit a home run with
And
this
it looks
offseason.
like he's hit on the running back, too, after a multiple tries.
Well, and even.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but like that doesn't take away all the strikeouts.
I didn't
Yes.
say it did.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's nice that eventually it looks
You get
like
a
you have
hit.
a
He's a
difference
volume
maker.
shooter.
Yeah.
He's taking a lot of threes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, even after the game, Mitch Morse talked about sometimes it's nice, instead of for all the times for pass protection, having to take a step back, being able to take that step forward and kind of dictate what you want to do.
They love the run game.
They do.
They love it.
I think they love the physicality.
They do. Look at him. He's hurt.
He is hurt.
Are they a running team now?
No.
Is wait a minute, hold on. Is Cam gonna call Josh a game manager?
I thought about that.
Is he a game manager?
Hey,
now?
also, good thing, I'll make my joke. Good thing Sean McDermott didn't fire himself a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that Ken Dorsey was the scapegoat.
Yeah.
I just renewed my subscription to Disney Plus too.
I saw a tweet that said Ken Dorsey should be on trial.
Yeah, it's a combination of things. This is why we told everybody Sean McDermott had not lost the room.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff out there about him was nonsense.
No.
His team played for him, and he was asked about if he's found his groove defensively. Oh,
Dude.
he's finding
in his
it right
bag.
now.
Dude.
He
Yeah.
really is,
Yeah.
and that was without AJ Epinesa, Micah Hyde. You already know about the guys that aren't there.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see Matt Milano on the sidelines today. To see him walking around with the guys, I think that's also a boost. I know he's not going to play this year and things like that. I think just having him around, Daquan Jones is
I
getting
still
closer.
don't ever trust teams when they say that.
Yeah.
Depends on how they are,
We'll
where
see.
they are. But the defense, I thought, they were so physical in this one.
But before we go to the defense, tell them what Deion Dawkins said about after the game. Who was happy?
Dad's happy.
Amazing.
Because I said to him, I go, you've been around a lot of wins with Sean, but this is the kind of game he loves. Or he goes, oh, he loves it. Dad's happy. I thought it was so good.
Funny.
In his cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Team's
was
feeling it.
phenomenal.
Yeah, they were.
And the other thing I wanted to take away before we get to the defense, as the rain picked up in the fourth quarter, I'm kind of just shooting the bench. This wasn't a win where they were pumping up the crowd. This wasn't a win where they're saying to a lot of the Cowboys fans, I have some great sad Cowboy fan shots in ponchos and it's just great. But like this wasn't like to them, it didn't feel like a statement win. To them, I was looking over at somebody else and they're like, yeah, this is what we're supposed to do. Like all season long, they've been like, hey, we're gonna put it together. Like just, hey, like we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We gotta execute better. Like this was that kind of win where it was like, hey, we expect to do this.
Yeah.
We expected that we could play a physical style of game and beat up the Cowboys, one of the best teams, hottest teams in the NFL, in our house.
Yeah, and I do think, and we talked about it, I think they caught the Cowboys at a good time, which was good. But they didn't just beat them; they
Correct.
dominated them. So I think that
They made 'em give up.
It contributed to it a little bit. The Cowboys coming off a huge win; they've been playing great. That's a playoff team. They actually clinched a playoff spot
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
With a couple of other things that happened. But look, they looked dominant, and I said they're going to still try to fight to make the playoffs. But if this defense plays like this,
Yeah, I don't know.
Contributions from other guys, they're going to keep winning. I think that's what they're going to do.
And Oliver talked post game about getting their swagger back, playing with the juice, and like that's what you need to have happen to get into the playoffs. It's those types of things that when you see that on the field, you believe in that, the confidence piece, and then you continue that. And I believe it. And he talked about too, like we're at the point in the season where you look to the guy next to you and you say,
I
I
don't know
know
if
what
that's
you can do,
right,
you know what
though.
I can do. Let's just go out and do it. And
Yeah.
I think you saw the defensive line, how much pressure they were able to get. Like Dak Prescott, I felt like was just all day, just like oof.
Yeah, Zach Martin left early.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
And I think
that was
after
big.
that,
yeah.
I think that they totally got to him, and especially for a defensive line, it's like that kid in the high school video clip. Like, I think I got my swagger back. Like again.
See, I don't know if that like the tire size is right.
For all those guys being out, the hottest
What
offense
is a
coming in.
picture?
This is the second time that he has slowed down a really hot offense coming into Orchard Park. He did it against Miami. They had scored 70 points. The Cowboys have been averaging 40 points over their last 5 or 6 games.
225. Oh, I see.
Domination from start to
Change.
It's hard to pick like a play because they made a lot of plays, but there was a play early in the third quarter where the Cowboys had a 3rd and 1, and they
Yes.
decided to throw, and the Bills came with pressure. And you're taking a bit of
Let me
a chance,
remove that.
but it worked, and they got to Dak. And I thought, it's 21-3. Dallas can just, if they can move down the field, you get points, it's a game. Took them right out of it, and then the Bills went on an 8-minute drive.
Yep. Yeah.
Only kicked the field goal, but the 8 minutes was the huge part of it.
Dak took some big hits today.
Dak's
He did.
ass.
I did tweet that. LaShawn McCoy said, MVP is like,
So, for those of you who don't know,
First of all, Dak is ass, right? Can I say on TV? Because he is ass.
Classic.
Shady.
Classic.
I just-
now
I
look,
love- I love
Dak is a great player. We're
Just
having
say.
a little fun. He is in the MVP consideration. He's had a great year. He ain't putting this one on the MVP reel. And
No.
funny about it is, it's almost like their offense was almost non-existent. They could barely stay on the field.
Yeah.
And then the Bills just controlled time of possession and everything. So while the defense was great, the offense helped the defense be great because they had the football most of the time.
Yeah. And also, too, I felt like the Cowboys had a lot of penalties. The Bills were really good about it. There was only the one accepted one on Tyrell Dotson.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel
15
like
15 yards, well worth it.
Yeah, it was a shot. Yeah.
it was a shot.
By the way, the referee in the game was undefeated during
Mike
Cowboys
hates
games.
this.
I hate that stat. I think it's a dumb stat. It's so
Go off, King.
arbitrary. What's that?
Go off, King.
Well, it's an arbitrary stat. These guys do games like you don't even know. Maybe they win a game. The Dallas
Pretty sure it's a G6 submodel. I don't know.
Their games over
It's like with the
years.
Chiefs and Eagles. It's like, yeah, their last 2 years they're undefeated. Yeah, because they've won 90% of their games.
I mean, so the game was today. I thought there was a lot of calls.
Yeah.
They called a lot of those. Like if it was
The
close,
one,
they
the
called
Josh.
it. Josh.
He's just
He's good.
all-pro
He's
actor.
good. But Dak, those are plays, and
Yeah.
Dak slid, and then he got the other one. They called those. They called the one.
Yeah.
Who got hit? What wide receiver for the Bills got hit?
Shakir.
Shakir.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I thought that was a penalty, and they called it. So they called a lot of those. But I mean, look, refs didn't matter. Nothing mattered. The better physical team won the game.
All right, let's talk about where they are right now.
A GT convertible, GT Coupe, GT sedan.
Picked up a win.
It must be
Obviously,
like,
Dolphins-
I don't understand.
Bills picked up a win.
Yeah, the
225,
Dolphins won,
50
They
RS.
are ninth in terms of the standings right now, but like you talked about, if they continue to take care of business like they have been doing, that's a very positive thing for
Go out
this
to
team.
LA. You're 13.5-point favorites against Easton Stick and
It's just not a real
Giff
name.
Giff Smith. I
Yeah.
believe is
Yeah.
the interim
He
head
used to
coach.
coach for the Bills.
Yeah.
Okay, just go there, get the win. Don't worry about covering. This is a team right now. Again, I know it's dumb when it's like, well, we have everything we want in front of us and we control our own destiny. You really do. Win
Yeah.
these last two games. You know what Miami has. They talked about the boost that they got from the Titans beating Miami on Monday night. Sean actually
By
named
tire
that last
size?
week. They're gonna have to go play Dallas, the Ravens, and the Bills to end.
Yeah.
Take care of your business. You're gonna be fine.
They need they need Miami to lose one game over the next two to have a shot to win the division if the Bills continue to win.
Yeah.
But if not, they win these games, they could be going to Miami for the division, and if not, they could be going there for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I already said to you, the committee needs to put the Bills in the
Yes.
playoffs if they're going to play like
I
this.
agree.
Get
I
together,
agree.
vote, take one of the teams that has a quarterback hurt, like Florida State. I guess it would be the Bengals. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's the way committees work.
Yep.
So you take them out, you put Josh Allen in.
Something to note, though, the Cowboys do play the Dolphins next. And I think
Yeah.
that, by the way, Dallas was embarrassed tonight. Maybe gives them a little bit of an,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to say an edge, but like teams want to bounce back. They got dominated here.
Miami also has to beat a team with a winning record.
That's true, too.
Wow. Good shot at the end.
Wow.
I just hate seeing the Cowboys lose.
Dak his ass.
So disappointing.
I know. You were grinning from ear to ear. Did you see that? Yes. I'm staring at
That's
the
a twofer for
same
Mike.
game.
It's a Bills win and an Eagles win.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of. Hey, the Eagles got their own problems.
Yeah.
They got their own problems.
Matt Patricia.
Well, he's already won them a Super Bowl. Of course, he was coaching for the Patriots at the time, but he won them a Super Bowl. So
Oh, okay.
anyhow,
Anything else?
Nope.
no, I don't think so.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Also, the Buffalo Plus store, buffaloplusstore.com. We put some new stuff on there. Also have the Let James Cook shirt that
Gotta get that.
Dan Fates designed himself.
It's timely fashion.
It is.
It's a really funny shirt.
Hey,
That's
last,
all I-
last minute holiday shoppings for those loved ones
Yeah.
in the Bills Mafia.
That's
yeah.
it. Janet
Also-
will pay for it.
No, but shipping is free.
That's what I meant.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Your thoughts on this
Individual.
for Mike Catalana and Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. We will catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris.
Colin Coward's going to be upset about my hat.
Oh, yes.
Backwards hat kind of guy.
It might be per tire. That's only passenger tire though. It's probably per tire, huh? I would assume it's all time per tire. Soon as Friday. Well, I see here, I have the tires, so I'm not too worried. I mean, the scheduled expert installation is 18 per tire. That's fine. See it here, I just have to do a day that I can do it. And I might wait for my next check, so... Okay. Yeah, a firm is credit-based. A firm, you have to... Okay.
And I was asking about his love life.
What do we want to... We want Jaguars, or we do want the... And so I don't need to do that right now. It hasn't really snowed. So the only thing about that is I can do the pay option, which is really nice. Not making Ernstine film these videos. That is so true. Oh man, these wow, those comments are ruthless. It's hilarious.
Hey, O-line! O-line! 200, you're good. 200 and some yards rushing, man. 200 and some yards rushing. Great job, man. Hey, you prepared your ass off, man. It showed, right? It showed. What did the old Bills say, right? When it's too tough for them, it's just right for us. Right? Just right for us. Did we break a record here?
That's such a good line. It's when it's too tough for them, it's just right for us. That is such a man.
Hey, remember, listen to me. Real quick, stay humble, right? Short week. Got a couple guys banged up in this game. We need everybody, man. Everybody going out west. Go ahead, Jeff. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I think I threw the ball that many times, which, again, I don't just get it done. Let's just find a way to win, and, you know, felt like the kid that didn't do anything in the class project but got an A. But again, like, I'll do this 10 times out of 10 times, man. Like, this, keep going.
Huh? Go ahead, Greg.
No, he's a dog, man. I put in his cook when I was like 10 years old. We're both from Florida, so he's like a legend down there, and he's doing his thing up here. So real proud of him. He's a younger guy, but you wouldn't even know it by the way he plays. So he's a baller. He's certified. He's a dog.
I feel like I was watching the same play. 10-yard game. 10-yard game.
Every time.
10-yard game. I say.
10-yard game.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead then, Cook. Come on, now.
And Oliver's a
That many times, which
10-yard game. 10-yard game.
Yeah, you hold me by the hand. Cause really and truly, I had him. 77 pushing on him, my shoulder got had to let him go. Christmas gonna be good.
Telling you, it might not be perfect, but this is the season for the Bills to go on one of those runs. It's lining up that way. Lining up that way. I don't fear anybody in the AFC. I don't fear them. I don't fear a single team. Cincinnati, yeah, they look pretty inept against the fucking. Pretty much inept against who do they face? They look terrible against that team. Against Minnesota, they look terrible against Minnesota, except for the fact that Minnesota doesn't know what they're doing. Do I fear Indianapolis? No. Denver just got destroyed. Houston is barely winning. Cleveland, I don't trust Joe Flacco. We just beat KC at their home. I don't know. I don't know.
McDermott's happy. It makes us happy when McDermott's happy.
What do you think makes you most happy?
Dad's happy, man. That we had a tough week of practice and we came out here and performed, you know, and we performed at a high level, and we showed the world and we showed ourselves a way that we can win games.
Yeah, that's what I'm also thinking, is that Cowboys are getting embarrassed in this game. They're gonna go down to Miami and not want to do this again. This is not something that I believe that Miami's gonna lose next week against the Cowboys. Cowboys are not going to accept this loss and just keep losing. There's no way. I don't believe that.
The back seat, he didn't have to do anything. Less than 100 yards passing. It was the James Cook show. Listen, I got my form right here. You know what I'm saying? Where's my writing utensil? Where's my writing utensil? I'm here to sign that bitch right now. James Cook, you, sir, have earned the right to do what you do on that field, because you killed that shit, man. James Cook was absolutely the best player on the field. And there's some stars on that squad. There's some stars on that squad, but I got to keep it a buck. If you're going to give a 5-star rating to anybody, it's going to be the Bills, right? You know it's going to be the Bills, because it certainly ain't going to be the Dallas Cowboys, because it's not the logo, baby. It's the rating. I don't even think you guys deserve 1 star, because it was a wrap for y'all today. Yo, do me a favor. If you are a Bills fan, you're a diehard Bills fan, smash that like. If you've never been to this channel before, subscribe to the channel, because it's a, listen.
Yeah, it was over in the third quarter.
I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Me and Stephen A. Smith are sitting going, ow, we hate y'all, man. And it was nice to put a smackdown. Y'all got some points at the end to kind of make it cute, kind of make it look like it was a close, but it was a route from the start.
Still 31-10.
A route from the start, and the tone was set with taking the ball and driving it down your throat and scoring right off the bat. Scoring right off the bat. My goodness, before we even get into anything else, listen, big props goes to the defense. Big props goes to the O-line. Big prop goes to special teams. Big prop, listen, props all around. But the biggest prop goes to Joe Brady and Coach Sean McDermott. For those that were asking for Sean McDermott to
Man, if they would have just done this a couple weeks ago, the Bills would be And 5.
Stars that have been beat up, injured. Trey White gone. Matt Milano gone. DQ gone, but could come back. But he's still got this defense cooking. Fire McDermott. These boys still play for McDermott. You gonna fire someone that still plays hard like that? And now we've identified a run game. We've identified that we got some hoggies on the line ready to get after it. I hope the Bills offense heard Voch Lombardi, my brother, which we're gonna call later on the show. All the Dallas Cowboys fans, I thought they had something. Oh, we took down the Eagles. Bitch, we should have took the Eagles down too. We were one connection away from walking off the field and say bye-bye. But here we are.
Yeah.
Joe Brady coached a hell of a game. And you know what? Like a typical Bills team in the past, we do something so well. Run the football. Even when we had Fred. You know what I'm saying? Even when we had, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Oh. Go back to any running back we've had. We run the ball. All of a sudden, we switch up trying to pass the ball. No, Joe Brady has learned. He's like, they can't stop us from running the football, so we going to keep doing it until they can stop it. It's like playing Madden.
Never stopped it.
That one play that no team can stop, you can run out of it. You can play action out of it. You can go deep out of it. You can do anything out of that play, and they can't stop it. What are you going to do? You're going to change it up for what? For what reason? They got to stop it. We were playing Madden today. We almost made them give up the sticks. You know what it is, 21-point skunk, give up the sticks. But Dak Prescott was playing hard, boy. He tried to stay with it. Man, oh man. If I'm speaking facts, y'all know what to do. Smash that like. Throw the emojis up in there. Give me the fire flames. Give me the microphone. Give me the thumbs up. Give me the freaking biceps.
Every four. What are you doing? What is going on? That's how you get fired. Who are you crossing up?
And Miami now has a short field after the fake punt backfires.
What the fuck was it? It was 5 yards. 4 or 5 yards? You do that with 1 yard. 4th and 5 maybe. Fucking clueless motherfuckers. And they're already in field goal range. He's hurt. He cannot move. Thank God he missed that. Yeah, keep running right into the guys. Why can't we block? That's a fumble. Is it not? Now I'm getting pissed off for the kid. This is silly. Who? That's not Zach's fault. He's got no blockers. Miscommunication. It's the play caller. And receiver.
I was really hoping the Jets would beat the Dolphins. I was really hoping.
After 1 second. There you go. Stupid Hackett. Look at that little slice of sun. Don't throw it over there. Because we got to look back into the sun, you moron. Oh, let's do it again. Oh, except this time we caught it. This team paid. Guys like Sauce and Hall are all going to be gone soon. This is a bunch of shit. Bunch of shit bags. You never got a fucking lineman that you need that can stay healthy. Vera Tucker, guy's been fucking lights out when he's on the field. Can't stay healthy. Becton, you're done. It's all.
It's right there for us, man.
89.3 rating. Let's go, Josh. Let's go, Josh. Josh Allen, that dude. You keep letting that brother do what he does, man. Your MVP is staring right at you in the face. He's staring at you in the face. But the player of the game. This brother here, let me just start off with this. I've been extremely hard on James Cook. Y'all know that. Y'all have been getting on my ass for months now. Give him a chance, Rico. He's that dude. I said, he's got to show me. I've been consistent enough to tell you, he's got to show me. He may have all the skill sets that you guys keep telling me about, but he's got to show me. I ain't seen shit. Boy, after those games that he fumbled, he's become a different back. I told you that from the start. That benching was a blessing in disguise. Not only that, you got yourself a new offensive coordinator that believes in the run game and that believes in using you as a weapon, which is half the battle. And now we're able to see your true skill set. and it's a wonderful thing to see. James Cook was absolutely on fire today, and I loved it. He was decisive. He anticipated. The beautiful thing about being a running back is to anticipate where the defender's coming from, to anticipate where the hole is going to be, because these holes close so quickly. They close so quickly. So if you're decisive enough to hit the hole quick, then you got to anticipate what angles defenders are coming at you from. This guy had it all today. He was anticipatory. He was all over it. He knew where to be. He knew when to slow down. He knew when to be patient. This was by far James Cook's best game in his career. I'm assuming better than what he's had collegiately. This game was it. This was the welcome to the party, James Cook. Now, when people look at the Bills, they can't say, this team can't run the football. No, sir. We just have an OC that actually believes in the run game. We have a head coach that also believes in the run game. And if we need to lean on James Cook, because that's what I've been wanting, a running back that we can lean on, is a beautiful thing. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Doesn't it feel good? Can't you walk away and be like, yo, we didn't really have to really do anything. We can lean on the run game. We can lean on the Hoggies. They were pushing the Dallas Cowboys all over the place. Kudos to the O-line today, man. James Cook was absolutely phenomenal.
All right, everybody.
25
Well,
carries. Isn't that a beautiful?
welcome in. It's YouTube Live, the Colin Cowherd podcast. You know who I am, I hope, by this point. On the Dallas defense. It was, I don't remember seeing the Dallas defense, run defense, that poor for a couple years.
To me, one thing that Dallas over the last month, why a lot of us have been buying in, is because of their physicality, like just their overall toughness. And today, Buffalo kicked their ass. I mean, that Colin was a beatdown. And I think
it was 34-20.
last week when we watched.
Oh, they scored actually. Well, I mean, it was completely garbage time. No, it was 31. What are they talking about? Oh.
Buffalo pull that crazy game out against Kansas City. It's hard to take them seriously when all their games are like that. They were like the better version of the Chargers. They just found a way to win some of them. But today, you got to give them their ceiling. I mean, they have a couple wins this year. That Miami win early in the season, Miami's pretty good. That game against Dallas today, like their ceiling is pretty high. When they're on, obviously playing at home, the division is still open. Like the division is not set. Miami's schedule is very hard. They play Dallas, they play the Ravens, then they finish with Buffalo. You look at Buffalo's schedule at the Chargers, who mailed that thing in, the Pats, and then they finish, like we said, with Miami. They've kind of reeled me back in because today it wasn't as much about Josh Allen just going LeBron James or Steph Curry. It was more the defense annihilated McCarthy's offense. And like you said, the run game, what has Buffalo always lacked? It's they've never had a running back beside Josh. Well, if you can get a guy, you don't need him to get 180 yards every game, but if you can rely on an individual to be a 100-yard-a-game guy in cold weather games, hard not to like Buffalo and look at him a little differently after the last 60 minutes, right?
You know, I was thinking about the Steeler teams with Tomlin when Ben was in his prime. And they had like, a Le'Veon Bell. And that's what Buffalo reminds me of. They didn't win, they got a Super Bowl, no question, a couple with Ben. But this is what Buffalo reminds me. A defensive coach, a defensive culture with a star quarterback that's about 70% of the offense. And when they had the star running back kind of in his prime as an energy, a twitchy energy player, Pittsburgh always had a star receiver on the outside. They draft and develop receivers better than Buffalo. But this is really what they remind me of. This is a Big Ben Steeler team with a defensive coach, defensive culture that has enough offensive pieces to win. And when I watch them today, I'm like, not everybody peaks at the right time. Rams are a totally different team than 6 weeks ago. Don't even look like the same team. Sure. I mean, that's a dangerous team now. They're blowing people out. So do you buy my Bills look like a Steeler comp, Ben, Josh Allen, defensive coach with a very, very...
I don't think Josh is Ben Roethlisberger.
Energized running back.
Yeah, don't hate it at all. And like the Pittsburgh, they're comfortable playing outside, right? And look at the AFC. It's hard to know how the seeding is going to shake out, but they would be comfortable. We've seen them go on the road in Kansas City. and play well. Go on the road in Baltimore and play.
Miami.
Right? Cleveland, no problem. Miami, no problem. They won't. They view Miami as an inferior team, right? So you go, listen, if this team gets in there and they have a chance to run the table and get to 11-6, I mean, a couple weeks ago, it felt like the building was on fire. And this is where you got to give McDermott and Josh and some of the guys internally some credit. They handled it. They kept, kind of the train on the tracks. Little lucky, however you want to look at last week. It played out. They won the game. And today, they beat the living shit out of the Cowboys. And that was, listen, a lot of people were betting on the Bills. It's another thing to be up 30-3, and the Cowboys struggled to get over 100 yards of offense with 5 minutes left to go in the game. I don't think anyone saw that. And that's kind of a rough reflection on Dallas that, the Eagles, obviously the story.
How about them Cowboys?
Guys are sick. They're working through some stuff. But
how about them Cowboys?
Because you want to take Dallas seriously as this NFC contender, this team that go to the Super Bowl, and then you watch a game like today, you're like, how does that happen?
Well,
how does that happen?
Don't the Cowboys play Miami next? Okay,
Yes.
so this is classic NFL. Dallas gets humiliated, physical team, so they are going to flex physically. Miami, finesse team, blows out a physical Jets team. They come back to earth. Watch Dallas face Miami and push them all over the field.
Yes,
for
that's
3.5
what's gonna happen.
I mean, you can see it a mile away. Dallas is coming out.
I like Dallas.
Yeah,
I like Dallas.
they're coming out. They just got humiliated. And not only did they get humiliated, they were pushed around the field. So the whole week of Cowboy practices, let's get back to physical football. So, folks, I had a really good Sunday today.
Yes, but what happens if they do that? The Bills go to the Chargers, beat them. They're not a very good team. And now you have a 9-6 Bills team that now Miami has to go to Baltimore, and like this can turn around really quickly on the Dolphins. They go 10-5, we go 9-6. That's a game back. Are they at the? If they're at the. Oh my god. Oh my god, that last game can literally be for the AFC East. Because I truly think that the Cowboys are going to win that game against Miami. That's why that loss to the Titans was so huge for the Bills.
I had the Lions, I had the Bills, I had the Rams. Okay, not so good on San Francisco, Arizona. Take the Cowboys right now against Miami.
And the other thing with Dallas, right? We'll see how tomorrow plays out. They still, Drew Lock's probably going to be the quarterback. But what if the Eagles lose, right? The Cowboys would still get a little life, just on a Monday night, sitting at home, get to look in the mirror, take a deep breath. Miami's a much better matchup than that version of whatever we just saw out of Buffalo, the way they just played.
There is something, I always felt there are certain glamour franchises, the Lakers, Texas football, the Dallas Cowboys, that it's almost impossible as the NFL's gotten younger. You get this young Cowboy team, and they're on every show. I mean, if the Jags go on a 7-game winning streak, guys like me, Stephen A., doesn't matter who it is, we don't talk about them. Cowboys go on a 3-game winning streak. Every player turns on the TV. How about them Cowboys? And I do think it's really hard to sometimes manage young athletes when they're rolling. I think it's harder to be Sark or Mike McCarthy because you become a centerpiece of discussion and elevation, and I think Dallas kind of just got into Dallas, and this is what happens. They win, they roll, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, this is the NFL. We're going up to cold Buffalo. I mean, there was not a minute of that game. Dallas was not ready to compete today.
Well, you know what? I've always had the take of, I didn't love paying Dak $40+ million a couple years ago. Thought he was a little overrated. And then he's kind of shutting you up. He's starting to play really good football. You're like, this guy might win the MVP. And then you watch today and you go, yeah, that's kind of the guy. It's like, he's still got that in him. He's done it in the playoffs the last 2 years against the Niners. How is there any scenario without major injuries where you can see the Cowboys beating the 49ers? Because I struggle to do that. I don't think it exists.
Yeah, I think Dak is a different quarterback trailing, and most quarterbacks are. But the difference between Dak at home leading and Dak on the road trailing, it's like two players, right? Like it really is. And most quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield's always been, he's a good front runner. He's not good trailing, but we don't consider Baker Mayfield to be a $45 million a year quarterback. So I look at Dak and, there are components to Dallas that feel like a Super Bowl team. A good quarterback having a great year, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Dak, good quarterback, having a great year. A really unique energy, play well at home, have a knockout punch somewhere on the perimeter as a weapon. But those teams didn't win Super Bowls. And I just feel like in order to win a Super Bowl, Dallas being a wild card team potentially, it'd be just at San Francisco, at a Philadelphia, at Detroit. That's really hard. Cincinnati almost pulled it off a few years ago, but they were, Burrow was on just a streak. But I just think, I just think Dallas, I think it's a hard ask for anybody if you don't have a star quarterback.
Yeah, I think those two teams you named, they got home games. And like you said, this team more than likely is going to be the 5th seed. And they're going to be a heavy favorite in that first game. But Tampa's got some good players. It might not be as easy as it was last year. Right. So, and then right away, you got to go on the road to Philly, to San Francisco, to Detroit, depending on how the seating shakes out. And that's a lot to ask. And let's face it, because like you said of the brand, do they get thrown on Monday Night Football again? And then all of a sudden you get that weird kind of shorter week, even if you get the afternoon Sunday window. Because I would say, if it's them against whatever team no one cares that much about in the South, it's an easy Monday Night Football game because it's big ratings. That's kind of what it's been. So, I have a hard time. I think it's borderline. One, they haven't been in the conference championship in 2.5 decades. And then when they still have this in the back, I mean, they have two, even if you give them the Arizona game, weird loss to a bad team, they had 2 real games against Buffalo and against San Francisco with a lot of hype coming into the game, momentum coming into the game. And they got destroyed. I don't know what the final score is of those 2 games combined, but it feels like negative 60-plus points on their side of the ledger.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Dallas is very much a momentum team. Nick Saban's team in Alabama have never been. Like, he can certain teams have the ability to flip at halftime and it doesn't matter. Dallas always feels like there's a way they play, and when you get them off their block, off platform, they can unravel, especially away from home. It's a young team. There's a lot of emotion. I still think they're fine. In the NBA, the games can change. A Dolphins team that has a speedboat offense is always good for the NFL, period. I just I've said this before, there are certain college football programs that make the sport bigger, And I think Miami, you get that wild aqua water, a playoff game in January, great weather, scoring points. But the Jets thing is interesting, John, because this offense, neither one of us loves Zach Wilson. I think he's probably a backup in this league. But Nat Hackett has not elevated him. And some of this is on Aaron's buddy. And there was a couple weeks ago, Alan Lazard was a healthy scratch. And at the time I thought, they're sending a message like, Aaron, we got to play the best players. This can't be about Aaron. This is a bad O-line. Nat Hackett, to me, has to go. I mean, despite what happened to Denver,
the 2 biggest winners today were looking like anything but winners at 3:30 this afternoon. Start with the Cleveland Browns. They were down 10 against Chicago. They were facing the possibility of falling into what's a messy 8-6 tie. Instead, they come back. They survived that Hail Mary. The Browns are 9-5, and they are in great playoff position now. They are a full game ahead of anybody else, at least a full game ahead of anybody else in wild card contention, and they are not out of the picture yet in the AFC North, not officially, certainly. And then there's the Houston Texans. They came into today knowing that with a loss, their chances would be just 23%. They promptly fell behind 13-0 in this game. They had just a 7% chance of winning it at that point. They rally, they win on the last-second field goal, and the Texans are now part of that 8-6 tie with more than a puncher's chance of making the playoffs. We all figured that the 5th seed in the NFC is going to go to whoever doesn't win the NFC East, the Cowboys or the Eagles. And that leaves, for the moment, 3 7-7 teams weeks ago left them as decided playoffs. win over Philly tomorrow would join this group at 7-7. But key there, Seattle has been swept by the Rams. Any tiebreaker involving Seattle and the Rams get the leg up. Yeah, well, from our friends at DraftKings, these are the odds week by week of the Bills making the playoffs. And you can see that heartbreaker in Philly a few weeks ago left them as decided long shots. Then they pull the upset at Arrowhead. Today, they crush the Cowboys, and all of a sudden the Bills are a better than even shot to make the playoffs. But how about not just make the playoffs? What about winning the AFC East? Take a look at this race here with the Dolphins. The Bills are 2 games behind with 3 to go. But look at these schedules. The next two games for the Bills, the Chargers and the Patriots. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are going to play the Cowboys and the Ravens. If Buffalo can just win these 2 games, and if Miami slips up against either Dallas or Baltimore, it would all come down to the final game, Week 18 in Miami. If the Bills
which is so doable.
they'd have the...
It's so doable. It's so doable. You're telling me, you cannot tell me that the Dolphins are not going to lose at least one of those. I mean, Bills just have to win be a total class for the Bills if they don't win both these games.
Head-to-head sweep of the Dolphins. They'd have the tiebreaker, they'd have the AFC East, and they would have a home game in the playoffs.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico.
Have the
they could lose both of them. I see the Dolphins losing both those games. Cowboys come in, just got embarrassed. Cowboys are gonna demolish the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins are that good. The Cowboys are not gonna lose 2 in a row, and then they have to go at the Ravens.
Just win these 2 games, and if Miami slips up against either Dallas or Baltimore,
they're a different offense without Matt Hackett. The Jets thing's going to be fascinating. The team looked like it quit today, was not prepared today. So you're a former scout. You run the Jets. I mean, I move off Hackett. I draft another quarterback, probably 3rd, 4th, 5th round, not 1st or 2nd. They need a left tackle. Regardless, they've got to get left tackle solved. What do you do with the Jets going forward?
Well, I thought today Fangio was trying to end his career. I mean, that's the way it looked. Fangio made it look like he didn't belong on the same field coaching against them, right? That Miami defense coming off a short week, and in the first half, they couldn't gain a yard. They had negative yards in the first half. And this Dolphins defense, Zach Thomas and some of their great players aren't walking through that door. This is a pretty average personnel team. I just think when you're beholden to Aaron Rodgers, are you firing Hackett? Like, I don't know if Saleh, like, that's ultimately, this is where their organization is all out of whack, right? Like, the coach isn't really in charge anymore. Even the GM, this quarterback who...
The Dallas Cowboys went into Sunday afternoon at Buffalo knowing that they had clinched a playoff spot. Congratulations. And maybe as a result of that, played anything like a playoff team. Cowboys lose 31-10 to the Buffalo Bills. All kinds of credit to the Bills. This is a desperation game for them. Had to win it at home in order to try to remain in playoff contention in the AFC, and they did all things necessary. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, who entered the game with talk about Dak Prescott as the MVP and talk about Mike McCarthy as when we're going to get an extension and Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year, put all that on hold after the Cowboys' maybe worst performance of the season. A lot of this game taking place at Highmark in the pouring rain, and the Cowboys reacted poorly to all of that, offensively and defensively. Dak Prescott completes 21 of 34 passes, 134 yards, and an interception. His quarterback rating, second lowest mark of the season at 57.7. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions for 53 yards, a rushing touchdown in garbage time. I'm not sure the point of it. Tony Pollard, 52 yards on 11 carries. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills did not rack up any big numbers, except for one guy. Josh Allen completed just 7 passes for 7 of 15 for 93 yards and a touchdown, gets a score on the ground, and then puts on a ball cap, and we're done here. The star of the show is James Cook, rushes for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns. Latavius Murray added a rushing touchdown.
Should have probably had
But
3.
James Cook made it look like, oh my gosh, why have the Bills ever thought about we need a running back? Why haven't the Bills been a run-first team more often? And from a Cowboys perspective, we can't stop the run anymore. Forget blaming the referees. Forget blaming the absence of Jonathan Hankins, the nose tackle. Forget this idea that so many Cowboys had the flu, they simply couldn't. That's not the way this works. The Cowboys collectively entered this game flat and exit this game flattened. They are still going to the playoffs, but now because they lost, the Eagles have also clinched the playoffs. The Eagles have a leg up in the NFC East, 49ers a leg up in the NFC, and it doesn't get any easier for Dallas. They come home with their tail between their legs and then go on the road again. And by the way, and we've pointed this out a lot, the last 2 years, the Dallas Cowboys, as good as they've been overall, are a mediocre or worse road team on Christmas Eve. They're at Miami with the Cowboys covering the NFL. Fish out.
Yeah, I think they're going to go there and win that game, though. I don't think the Dolphins are that good.
Keep this story, the running thing about him coming back. Like, what are we talking about? And then
here's Cook, left side and a seam. James Cook has got a first down. James Cook again on that left side, and this time into Cowboys territory, and still chugging inside the 45. Fans love it. He's got 8, he's got 9, he's got 11. Allen on the fake, has time, looking deep, fires, digs in stride, and he's got it out near the 20. And he beats Stephon Gilmore on the route. Cook again, jump cut, and another up the middle, and Cook gets belted down at the 16-yard line.
See him here on the left side of the defensive line.
Second and goal, it's Murray, and he is stuffed. I think, maybe not, still going, no signal. Touchdown!
Cowboys offense can get out to fast starts, and then the defense kind of preys on that situation. Big time opening drive here for this Buffalo's offense. Take a look here. It's going to be a great angle. Watch, look at the ball. Great angle there.
Prescott stands in, can't find anyone. Rolling, gets a block from Pollard. It's a great one, and it springs him for a first down. Dak Prescott has the first down, got an excellent block from Pollard. He wants a penalty flag, too. And there is one now at the end, actually multiple at the end of the play. And in stride, CeeDee Lamb makes the grab for a first down. He's into Buffalo territory.
I really thought they were going to go score on this drive.
Secondary unit intact.
Pollard on a 2nd and 5, breaks a tackle. First down for Dallas, inside the 30 he goes. And the Cowboys on the move with a 9-yard game. And there's a flag on this play as well.
Pretty sure they sacked him here, too.
Has time. Now runs into a sack, and he's taken down by Leonard Floyd. It's raining all day, not an issue. No wind either right now. So here's Allen to Cook on the run. Left side gets outside. Good run across the 20. And James Cook.
Cyrus Torrance, number 64.
3rd down. He gets around him. Allen sees it, running away, but now he's caught up and he throws it away as he's held. And it goes out of bounds. So the Cowboys will get their stop. Sam Williams had him wrapped up. His box score doesn't really equate to how much impact he has on the game.
No doubt.
That was a perfect example. Here's Martin. And that one, how did he get it away? And he gets decked. There's a penalty flag. This one, Turpin is on the receiving end. Williams ran into the punter. And Turpin is going to be taken down. That was a 4th and 8. So if it's roughing, it'll be a first down.
Number 54. But his
foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense number 54. The 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
2nd and 10. Allen pumps, slings it near side. It's Cook. Makes a man miss. First down, Buffalo, and he's into Dallas territory.
That should have been 15 extra yards right there, because that was a face mask.
Against motion, those numbers really drop.
3rd and 1. Handoff coming near side. Johnson's got it, and he's got the first down inside the 20. 11th play of this drive. Allen. Here comes Parsons. Runs away. Throws on the run. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown. It's Cook.
He does this as well as any back in the
That might be the best. This might be the best running back game I've ever seen from the Bills.
He ran a little shoot last week for a touchdown out of the same position, and this time one-on-one against the linebacker Damone Clark.
Meanwhile, Dak Prescott just 1 for 5 throwing the football so far. Hasn't found anyone open again. Now he's going to tuck in and run. Will do so, and they get hit down hard, and there's a penalty. Across the 40, it's the 2nd time the Bills have done that. And that'll move it 15 yards.
Wow, he takes another big shot by Dotson, just straight to the face.
Unnecessary roughness, defense, number 25. It's a 15-yard penalty out of the end of the play, automatic, first down.
Yeah, Tyrell Dotson, number 25. I mean, he just puts his helmet.
3rd and 4. Prescott has time. Looking, throwing into a tight window, and it's caught by CeeDee Lamb. Great throw from Prescott, and the drive continues as Lamb with a big play. On 2nd and 5, he'll get it. Stutter step, and Pollard with a good move and a first down on cue, Greg. Nice run by Pollard inside the 20. He goes as the drive continues. Pollard again gets it, sprinting through the hole. Pollard running hard and down near the 10. 3rd down, blitz coming. Prescott tipped to the line and nearly intercepted. And Oliver got a piece of it. Now 4th down, it looks like the field goal unit coming on. Snap is put down, the kick is perfect. The rookie has made all 31 of his field goals this year. James Cook has had an unbelievable half. He gets it again, 97 yards, going to put him up over 100 and then more. First down, still on his feet, and Cook has been a revelation. Per game after a fumble on the first.
Yeah, that's what the Dallas Cowboys did. And get prepared for the Dallas Cowboys on how to beat us. And that's.
This play is coming back nicely. Here's Allen. And it's up with Stephon Diggs, who makes the catch and now just dives down, but that'll be enough for a first.
Give him a chance to keep fighting.
Yeah, so the first sack from Mozzie Smith. Here's Allen. Lets it rip, and oh my goodness, what a hit. Shakir, and they're going to get a flag on Curse. Let's watch this.
Yeah, so the key is, does he get him in the head? He does, and...
Yeah, you can't fly at him with your head.
Unnecessary roughness, defense number 1. That's a 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
Yeah, you can see he kind of leaves his feet and elevates that hit. Landon Davis.
2nd down, pressure up the middle. Allen escapes, breaks a tackle, and another. Allen fighting for a first down, and he's got it. Yeah, Donovan Wilson has come out for Dallas. He was injured during that break. Here's Cook, breaking tackle, still on his feet. James Cook diving inside the 5, and he's down to the 1. Quarterback shove play, and that works. Forget it. Not even close. Josh Allen is in. Touchdown, Buffalo.
He's just looking for the soft spot. Typically, we see Philly. They just run right down the middle. But watch Josh Allen. He knows where that soft spot is. That's the B gap. The spot between the left tackle and the left tight end. And he's across the goal line.
Big drop for Prescott. Pressure up the middle. He is dropped. That pressure gets home for Buffalo. 56 total yards from scrimmage. He'll get it here on their opening drive of the 3rd. And look at the moves from James Cook. And he goes all the way reversing field.
Yeah, whatever James Cook took today.
Especially on a 3rd and 1, it's working.
He needs to fucking sell it.
Out left. James Cook, more chunk yardage. Another first down.
Negative plays with penetration.
Run it again.
Fucking sell it.
Gets to the edge. First down and more for Johnson. Down around the 10. Third and goal. Blitz coming. Allen floats it out. James Cook couldn't hang on.
That was another touchdown for James Cook right there.
Passes, got it. So the Bills, a long drive, go down and add to their lead as the rain comes on back here in Orchard Park. James Cook has been
Trying to get me banned on YouTube, of course.
for another big gain and a first down for Cook, and he's into Dallas territory. Like the Bills are. 3rd and 9, blitz coming. Allen sees it, steps away, says go over there to, oh, Diggs! Are you serious? One-hander and a first down. Cook again, why not? James Cook through everyone and he scores again!
Makes the playoffs. I don't care if they're the 4 seed, the 7 seed. I don't think it matters. I don't know anybody in the AFC that feels good coming here.
3rd and 5 here for Dak Prescott. Stands in and delivers, and it's caught to Ferguson's got to have a first
I mean, this
down.
game is over at the 3rd quarter. I mean,
Prescott throws high, and it's intercepted. It's Benford who's got it taken down. Bills take over. And Josh Allen only threw for 94 yards because he barely threw in the second half. He hasn't had to. And Murray gets bounced back.
Allen and what they can do in the passing game, but man, if they can put a run game with it, that's something.
As Cowboys will throw it and get it to Jalen Tolbert.
it's so weird. We have to root against the Cowboys. Now we have to root for the Cowboys to beat the Dolphins.
Here's Prescott, far side, another completion to Ferguson.
A positive drive. For their sake, hopefully end with a touchdown.
Yeah, get it to Lamb on the run, diving, and he's in for the touchdown. CeeDee Lamb gets the rushing touchdown. 3rd rushing touchdown of his career. A good effort in the rain just to kind of leap into the end zone. So the Cowboys able to put together a drive and at least something to build on for next week.
In today's NFL, and big reason they've had the success they have today.
That certainly helps. One of only 3 teams that have been able to do it. As Latavius Murray gets to carry. You get to come up here a lot, but
no doubt.
Fun to change it up. And Allen will take a knee, and that'll be that. 31-10, Buffalo. Sean McDermott saying hello to Stephon Gilmore, of course. Gilmore, the former Bill. McDermott's feeling good as he and McCarthy will share a little hug, and we move on. The Bills keep their playoff hopes alive.
Somebody else playing? Oh, yeah.
10 yards for a first down.
Jeez.
Lawrence drops back. Middle. Incomplete. No flags.
Hey there, everyone. Dom Tibbetts alongside 7 Sports Director Matt Beauvais here at Highmark Stadium, where we are coming off the Bills' 31-10 victory over the Dallas Cowboys. Everything you probably had on your bingo card, like the Cowboys getting held to 10 points, James Cook having over 200 yards in scrimmage, all circled off in this big win. Matt, first off, can I ask you, how's my hair look? It was a little wet down on the field today.
It looks good.
All right, good.
It looks good.
Good. I had a little hair strand coming down. I kind of thought I was going to get the Leo DiCaprio look going here.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking. When you said James Cook had over 200 all-purpose yards, I just wanted to make sure you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, 179 plus 42. I'm bad at math. I'm going to do this literally in my 221 all-purpose yards for James Cook. Man, it's a pretty good day.
He cooked.
Yeah. Oh, boo! Come on.
Okay. Well, either way, Matt, I'll start with this one with you. I mean, what was, aside from James Cook, who had just a monster state, actually, you know what, let's start there.
Yeah.
That dude is starting to click. The past couple of weeks, you slowly see it start to build up, and today he put on a performance that made you go, okay, this guy is a real deal.
Well, I liked how Ed Oliver said it after the game. I asked Ed Oliver, they had a front row seat, him and Greg Rousseau, from the sideline of James Cook. And I said, hey, what did you make of the performance? What did you see from your vantage point? And he said he felt like every play was the same. James Cook, 10-yard gain. James Cook, 10-yard game. This is the thing that's so impressive, is everybody in this stadium knew the Bills were going to run the ball after the first quarter when they really dominated on the ground, and they kept having success. So James Cook, he deserves a ton of the credit, more than anybody else, but so does the offensive line, because they were opening up gaps and pushing through holes for him that were not used to seeing, really, this season. It was the most dominant this team has looked on the ground in probably years.
I also just want to say, too, I mean, with James Cook having the performance he had tonight, how long, Matt, have we been saying for? It felt like the past couple of seasons has been the narrative.
Rejuvenated after beating Kansas City in Kansas City last week. How do you feel after beating Dallas, and they were coming in with a 5-game win streak?
Let James cook. What a game from him. What a game from our O-line. What a game from our defense. We were smart with the ball. Took care of business at home. We just got to take it one game at a time, but we're a confident team right now. We got to keep things going.
James Cook basically had career highs in everything today. Why, first of all, and what did you think about the way he played?
I mean, he ran the ball so hard. Our offensive line gave him holes to run through. Our guys on the perimeter blocked their tails off, and our receivers made plays when they had to. It wasn't a pretty passing game by all means. You talk about the weather, the rain, the wind, but when in doubt, give it to our running backs. Let's go grind out some yards, and our offensive line was up for the task today.
You know what looked pretty, though? Your defense. I mean, you want to give those guys some love against this Dallas offense?
Yeah, that's one of the highest flying offenses in the league, and our defense came out. They played so well. Coach McDermott called a heck of a game, and he had us prepared to go this week. And, again, we're going to celebrate this one tonight, turn our attention to next week. Where are we going? L.A. Chargers next week, next Saturday. So that'll be the only thing on our minds.
All right, appreciate it.
Is it Saturday? I heard somebody.
Where's Josh Allen's help in the run game? Why is Josh Allen your guy that's running the most out of this backfield? You finally feel like James Cook is the answer to that, and I think that puts the Bills in a dangerous position moving forward for opposing defenses in a good way, meaning like, now
Saturday at 8.
Have to worry about, but it's James Cook and his ability to be a weapon as well. It's with so much on the line for the Bills, even these next 3 games moving forward, you got to feel like they are in the best place they could be, all intents purposes wise, to move forward with this.
Well, they found a balance, and now you can play them a couple different ways, and then they can counter with a different attack. If you want to try and stop the Bills' run game, which teams are going to try and do, that will open options in the passing game. And if you're probably most teams, you'll say, well, they still have Josh Allen, and they still have Stephon Diggs. We are going to focus on stopping them in the pass game, and we will live with letting them have chunk plays on the ground. Well, we saw what they can do tonight. They can take those plays just all the way down the field, and then you capitalize on a play. It's like their second touchdown of the game, where they ran the ball down the field, they got bailed out by a penalty, and then they hit James Cook for a passing touchdown. And then the next one, it was Josh Allen for a rushing touchdown. So it just makes them multi-dimensional, which all the good teams, look around the league. If I asked you right now, who are the best teams in the league? You would probably say, well, the 49ers. They're one of the best teams in the league. Well, that's because they've got a quarterback in the MVP conversation, and they've got Christian McCaffrey, who's also in the MVP conversation. You might say Baltimore. Well, guess what they can do? They can run the ball really well, and they have Lamar Jackson, who is still an efficient passer. You could say the Eagles. Same thing. It makes a lot of sense, and this is the most balanced this team has looked in a long time.
One last thing I want to touch on offensively, and Josh Allen noted this after in his post-game press conference, Matt, was James Cook's performance might overshadow the fact that Stephon Diggs, I think, became, the first Bill to have 4 consecutive 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah.
I think the stat was along those lines, too. He had that unreal grab.
Stupid.
To keep the drive going, to pretty much put,
It's wet, it's rainy. To make that catch in these conditions is kind of ridiculous.
And if somebody was down in the field, the second half is when the rain was at the heaviest.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the slightest look upwards, rain was in your eye. All right. Other side of the ball, Matt, I'm going to start with Leonard Floyd because he's got like the coolest little thing that his 10th sack gave him today. I'll let you explain that because I think people are going to be really looking for Leonard Floyd for their Christmas presents this year.
So Leonard Floyd now has 10.5 sacks on the season. When he negotiated his contract with the Bills, there must have been some sort of bonus in there that if he surpassed 10 sacks, it was probably 10 or more, he got a $1 million bonus. So Leonard Floyd has been awesome. It's probably a super exciting night for him because one, his team won, but two, he just got another $1 million. And if you're sitting there at home and going, okay, but these guys make so much money, what's another $1 million? It's $1 million is what it is. You can do a lot of things with $1 million. I would not know how you spend $1 million, but Ed Oliver wanted to make it very clear after the game that he thinks he deserves a piece of the pie because he has
be a good, man, not a great stream, but today's been just tiring, so